Today, I'm really super excited about this episode because I'm going to be talking about one of my absolute favorite manifestation tools. It's called scripting. But before we get into that, I want to share with you that these first episodes of The Soul-Led Millionaire are actually episodes that I recorded in a previous podcast that I used to have back in 2019. And the reason that I want to include these episodes in this show is because I think it's such a great way to see someone's journey, to see their progress, to see how far they've come. I know I always love seeing someone else's experience and the obstacles they've overcome, as well as what they've learned, as well as how they've evolved over time. So I think it's a great way to bring this to you, to show you where I was at only those few years ago, and to see how far I've come since then. As well as the fact that these episodes were great when I recorded them, and they're very dear to me. So I figured, why waste them? Why not let you have these episodes as well? So I hope you enjoy this episode. And if you do, please come over and leave a review for the show, and let me know on Instagram what you thought of it. Now, without further ado, let's get into the episode. Now, what is scripting? A lot of people don't actually know, so let me just give you the 101 on what it is. Scripting is a manifestation tool where you write the story about your manifestation as if you've already manifested it. One thing on that I want to make really clear is that there is a fine line between keeping it general and going too much into the how. You don't want to go too much into the how, because what can happen is you can start to try and control or influence the way it comes to you, which then puts limits on how the universe can actually bring you your desire or your goal. And doing that can also send you into a negative state, because I know from experience, when I've ever tried to put in how, I start spiraling and thinking, wow, this is just not possible. How the hell is this going to manifest? Okay, so it's like a really fine line that you have to keep it between general and going into the how. But in saying that, you can write about anything you want to manifest. Anything. It could be something super specific that you're trying to manifest, or maybe you just want to craft your dream life on paper and actually see it for yourself. Or maybe you just want to script for healing or clarity on some kind of topic. But whatever it is, you can use the power of this exercise to manifest your desired goal. Why? Because essentially, it's not the actual exercise that helps you manifest it. It's the effect that the exercise has on you that helps you manifest it. Does that make sense? I hope it does. It essentially puts you in the vibrational frequency of aligning with what you want. Because, as we all know, the energy you're sending out into the world attracts the same energy back. So, a perfect example of this would be when you're in an argument with your partner. Usually each one is reacting off the other and nothing is getting resolved because you're in the same energy. But each person wants it to be resolved. They want it to manifest having the air being cleared and going back to being lovey-dovey. And so the second one or both takes the time to cool off, maybe do something else and get into a different energetic state, they're able to come back and resolve the situation easily, right? So we're always a match to something, always. 100% of the time, 24/7, we are always matched to something. We're always a vibrational match. It's just that most of us are a match on autopilot. So we're just feeding off our environments and reacting to them. So that's why we tend to manifest random stuff. Whereas with scripting, or actually any manifestation tool, to be honest, when scripting comes in, it's that you're deliberately changing the way you feel to alter what you're attracting into your life. So when you're spending time on any manifestation tool, you are keeping yourself in that vibrational frequency of aligning yourself with what you want. Therefore, you're a match, and then it attracts to you the things, people, and events that match that frequency. So how do you actually script? Well, the easiest way would be to get a pen and a piece of paper and script that way. But I recommend using a journal. You can use a piece of paper, but a journal is just so much more intimate. And I feel like it's literally you're writing magic onto paper. You can use like a computer or a Word document, but I honestly don't find this as effective as physically writing into a journal. Because when you're writing, it forces you to hold on to that feeling or that thought longer and be conscious to what you're writing. And when you're typing, you can kind of just smash out the words without really thinking about them. And that's not what you want. You don't want to just get through it to get to the end of it. You want to actually relish the feelings of this manifestation being true. So writing obviously takes slower than typing. So that's why I feel it's far better to do than typing. But it is personal preference. So whatever you want, go for it. Now, when it comes to what to write, the first thing you need to keep at the focal point of your mind when writing your script is being as detailed as possible without going into the how. You can touch on it a little bit, but if you can keep it without going into the how, it's going to be better for you. And I'm just saying this based on how I think and how I do this exercise. So when you're writing about the what. What happened? What is the actual manifestation, as if it already happened, not the how it happened. Let's use an example. Say you wanted to manifest $5,000 by the end of the month. You would write about actually having the $5,000, not how you got it. That might look like, I am so freaking grateful that I manifested this $5,000 that I needed to pay for my trip to Costa Rica next month. I believed so much in my desire that it actually happened. And oh my gosh, even though I knew it would, I still can't believe that it did. So now I have booked my trip, paid for my hotel, and I've even upgraded my package to include the breakfast buffet, champagne on arrival, and 2 incredible 1-hour massages in the rainforest. And I can't freaking wait. So do you see that's the way to do it that leaves it exciting and bubbly and juicy, but it's still open for the universe to bring even more of it to you because you haven't gone too much into the how about how it happened. So that way it's able to manifest in any possible way. You haven't dictated how it should manifest, because the second you do that, you're stifling. You're putting the universe in a chokehold, which sounds awful. So let's not do that. So another important note to make when scripting your desire is to write how you're feeling. Are you excited? Are you feeling powerful? Do you feel like a boss? Or are you just like really charged up like I am right now, because I've had 3 coffees today and I am like bouncing off the walls? Or do you feel at peace when you're writing your manifestation, when you're scripting it out? Do you feel at ease? Do you feel relaxed? Or do you feel an overwhelming gratitude or love or joy about what you want? What is it? How do you feel? So if we go back to the same example, maybe it would sound something like, oh my God, I am so grateful I manifested the $5,000 for my trip to Costa Rica. I'm getting champagne on arrival, the breakfast buffet every day, and massages. And now my best friend is coming and I'm so excited and I feel so grateful about this whole experience because it's literally what I've been dreaming about forever. And it feels so amazing and effortless and so in flow, and I feel joyful and it feels fun, and I literally feel so grateful and my heart is so filled up to the rim and I want to feel like this forever. I want to stay in this feeling forever, and I'm so freaking grateful. Thank you. And you see how adding how you feel about it amplifies your actual vibration right now, not later. It amplifies how you feel right now and then smacks you into alignment with what you want right now. I am sounding way too excited about this, but I can't help myself. But then finally, I would recommend you would also add in how your life looks now that you've manifested it. Are you in a completely different place, or are you in the same place with just a better outlook? Where are you at now? So if we use the same example yet again and amplify it, it would probably go something like this. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so grateful. I manifested this $5,000 for this trip to Costa Rica. It's been on my bucket list and dream board for years, and I can't believe that I manifested it so easily and so effortlessly. And it was so fun and easy. And I get to enjoy this whole experience with my best friend, and we get to drink champagne and eat at the breakfast buffet like we're super rich. And I'm so grateful. And it feels like I am in such a different place in my life. I feel like I figured out the friggin' cheat codes to having everything that I want. And I love that my life is this way and that I get to have it all. I get to have my dreams. I get to achieve my goals. I get to manifest what I want. Life is just so much easier and enjoyable now. And I feel free and I'm not going back. So something like that. Like, you can write anything. It's about the feeling, not the words. So don't overthink it too much. It's supposed to be fun. So just follow the good feelings and you're on the right track. Now let's get into scripting styles. There are a lot of different ways that you can do this. There's no right or wrong way. It's just what you kind of prefer to do. So for me, as you probably heard in my examples, I like to start with gratitude. And so I will always start off my scripting sentence with I am so grateful for, or thank you so much for, or thank you universe. And I will lead on from there. So an example I want to give you is actually the scripting I did when I manifested my entire trip to the US last year. I decided to go to Houston, the most random place you could ever choose to go, because I was called to go there. Like, there was this hunch to just go there. I didn't know anyone. I didn't even know the city. I didn't know anything about it, like nothing. I had no connections there whatsoever, but I went based on a hunch. And because I was going without really knowing anything about anything there, I decided to script how I wanted it to go. And so I actually have what I scripted because I wrote it in my notes on my phone. So I'm going to read to you the things that I wrote. Here's number 1. I am so grateful for meeting amazing people who really look out for me and want to spend time with me, showing me the city and getting to know me. So much that they introduce me to their families, and I really feel like I'm a part of this amazing, incredible life in Houston. Thank you, universe. I'm so grateful for making amazing friends who invite me out. We go on day trips and we just love hanging out with each other. I am so grateful for getting offered amazing opportunities in Houston that I just feel like this was divine guidance. It was meant to happen. And I'm absolutely loving my life here in Houston in this gorgeous home that I stay in Montrose that I just don't want to leave. So as you can see, like, it's nothing like super specific or amazing, but it's just about the things that I wanted to happen there. And literally every single thing happened. In my first week, I met a wonderful, wonderful woman called Chelsea, who became like my instant BFF there. And it was amazing. We just connected straight away. We met at Carne Rosso and had cocktails and just spilled our life story to each other. And it felt in flow. It felt like divinely planned, because what actually I found out was that her and her husband and her beautiful children wanted to potentially move to New Zealand. Of all the people I could meet in Houston, it was a couple who wanted to move to New Zealand. What are the odds of that? And then after that, I also went to a social media event that was run by Girl Sesh. And that's how I got to meet Meredith, who is an amazing woman, so inspiring, who has started a co-working space. First it was a co-working meetup, but she's actually got a space now. And I met her, and through her I got to run a workshop for Girl Sesh. And through those meetups, I also got to make other beautiful friends, Grace and Rihanna. And they also really just invited me into their lives, and I got to have so much fun with them. This has never happened for me before, but I wrote everything down how I wanted it to happen, and it happened. It happened. And that's why I recommend to start scripting with gratitude. But that's not the only way to do it, right? So another way that I have done it before, I don't do this as much. This is something I do when I'm really trying to manifest like a specific thing, and it's a big thing. And that is to form a statement. Rather than script like a story, you create a statement. So if we go back using the Costa Rica example, it would be, I am so grateful to manifest $5,000, or I have manifested $5,000 by the end of the month. You would then write this statement down over and over and over, at least 10 times every single day. So it's like something short, something easy to remember, like, I am so grateful for manifesting $5,000, or I'm so happy and grateful I've manifested $5,000 from this launch. And you would write that every day, just do every day. It's almost like an affirmation, but you get into the habit of writing it every day. And when you get into the habit of writing it every day, it becomes a habit and it keeps it at the forefront of your mind. What you're doing is like you're constantly intercepting your thoughts. So if you're thinking of something negative, or you're just not even thinking about it, like you're off thinking about something else, like daydreaming, this gets you focused on what you want. And it helps you start expecting it and believing that it's happened already and it's done. Another way to do it is from the perspective that you're being in service of others. What I mean is that when you're writing your script, you're writing it in a way that explains how you're giving value to the world through what you're currently doing. So that might look like, instead of your gratitude being about yourself, like, I'm so happy and grateful I manifested $5,000, you can flip it into it being about how you're serving other people. So it could be, you want to make $5,000, you would write something like, I'm so grateful that my blog posts, or that my content, or that my emails have become so powerful and helpful for people, that I'm just bringing so much joy and happiness into their lives and serving them in the way that is of their highest good. It is compensating me with $5,000 every month because I am being so helpful and so giving to these people. I'm in alignment with $5,000 a month through the service that I give. I create content that is worth $5,000. And so I am compensated in return for it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And so what this is doing is you're changing the way that you see what you want, and you're turning it into being of service of others. Now, I would only recommend doing this if you're actually doing that, because if you start saying that you're being in service of others, but you're not actually doing it, then that creates like a gap in your alignment, because as we know, our ego likes to catch us out. So if you say, I'm giving so much value to these people, and you haven't done anything, your ego is going to be like, no, you're not. And so, yeah, that's going to mess up your manifestation and alignment powers. So I recommend only doing this if you're actually giving. Another way to do it, I haven't done this myself yet, but it's write it like an actual script. Like an actual script. So if you've seen the movie Stranger Than Fiction with Will Ferrell, like that, you could actually write it like it's a script. Write everything in detail the way that you want your life to be in the present form, and you can script actual characters. And maybe you're a character, or maybe you make up the characters and you assign roles and everything. It's up to you. Then the last tip that I have for how to script, and it's actually one of my favorites. I like to do this. I haven't done it as much as I would like, but I'm definitely going to do it more now. And that is to write or script like your desire manifested 6 months ago. A lot of us, when we're trying to manifest something, we act as if, right? So we're trying to act as if it's already manifested, or like it's just manifested. But I, over time, have practiced getting into the energy of that it manifested ages ago. Like ages ago, because I want to get into that energy of it having manifested ages ago. So when you think about anything that you've manifested in your life, anything you've tried to achieve, or anything that you have, or anything that you wanted and you got, think about how you felt about that manifestation 6 months after it happened. So if I think about Houston and how I manifested that, which was like over a year ago now, I don't even think about it. And chances are, if you thought about something that you manifested 6 months ago, you don't even care about it anymore. You're not even thinking about it. It's so far in the past that you're busy manifesting something else now. That's the energy that I like to practice being in, because there is literally zero resistance to you manifesting it. Like, it's not even at the forefront of your mind. You're completely detached from the manifestation and the outcome because it happened such a long time ago. So therefore, if you can get into that energy, if you can build up all this energy about your desire manifesting and then switch into the energy of, yeah, man, it manifested ages ago, it is going to manifest so much quicker. Okay, so a couple of little things that I have noticed people want to know is, do you need to script every day? Yes and no. It's entirely up to you. What I would do is I would do like a full scripting session once, and then I would worry about getting into the energy of receiving. But if you feel like you need to constantly interrupt like negative thought patterns or just staying on track, I would recommend that after you've done the big scripting session is to just bullet point list your desire. So if you go through your actual script, take out little bullet points of what you want to manifest and then just write those down each day. Or do it how I did it in my phone and just write like a couple of notes like manifest friends, go on road trips, live in a beautiful home. Little things like that help you switch back into the energy of what you want. That is how to script to manifest money, or basically anything else that you want. Hey, it's Elise again. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a lot out of it. And if you did, I would love for you to share your review of this episode on iTunes. I want this podcast to get out to as many people as possible to help them become soul-led millionaires. So if you could do that, if you love the show and you want to share the love, please make sure you leave a review. If you would like more goodies, if you just can't get enough and you want to learn even more, I have a free 3-day workshop on how to manifest $1,000 or more in 30 days that I would love for you to take. All the details of that are in the show notes below. Otherwise, if you just want to say hi, come over to Instagram at Elise McDowell. Thank you once again for listening to this episode. I will see you again soon.